Good evening, everybody. And Yuito, Mr. Sham will be joining us later. Okay. We have with us tonight some teachers will be coming in because they have classes. Teacher Coleman is here to help us out. Okay, if you have any questions, Teacher Coleman is a very experienced teacher. I'm sure he can give you very, very good advice. Okay, so feel free to ask us questions in the chat, in the Q&A, and also earlier on I posted in Telegram, right? Just to ask if any one of you has any questions about paper two, just ask me and then we'll answer them live in today's session, okay? Okay, so do you know why you're here? That's always the first question. Do you know why you're here? Okay, so this morning I conducted a sharing for paper one, right? And I'm sure some of you were there this morning as well. How many of you were there this morning for paper one? Show of hands. Some people were there for paper one. Okay. Now, for today's session, if you have paper one questions, of course you can ask. Okay? No, that's not a problem. So just ask us anything and we'll try our best to respond and help you, okay? Tonight, give teacher Coleman and I an idea of the kind of audience we have tonight, okay? Can you now type in chat? You're in primary what? Okay, so you just type in the number P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Okay, so we get an idea of members who's here. Lots of P6s. Yes, because it's a very final. By this point, you have a lot of experience, you've done a lot of papers, you know your rules, right? So you're here tonight just to confirm some things. Mr. Sham is here. Yuito is looking for you. Okay. Yeah, your fan is looking for you. Okay. So for P6s, I think your objective for today is to just confirm that what you know is right. And just in case there are still some misconceptions, we can clear them. And for our younger students today, our P3, P4 students, hello. Okay. Whatever we are covering today is useful for you as well. But if you find certain questions more challenging, it's okay. You just learn. Okay, just learn because very soon you're going to see such questions. Okay? Hello, hello. Everyone is so friendly. Hello, good evening, everybody. Yeah. Okay, very, very nice crowd tonight. So, all of you have downloaded this document, and maybe some of you have printed it out. Okay, the preparation pack. Now, today's preparation pack is not a full test paper. Okay, it's just bite size because we want to highlight some skills and some tricky questions. So it's not a full paper too. But some of you do have questions about COEB or some tricky grammar questions. We'll address them as we go through those sections, okay? So today, we're going to look at a few things. Firstly, the low-hanging fruit like MCQ, especially grammar MCQ. Okay, how do we tackle it using Captain Ace? So if you're a Mind Stretcher student, Captain Ace is not new to you. If you're a Mind Stretcher student, can you raise your hand, okay? For my colleagues here, let us just know. Then we are going to look at vocab close. Vocab close is also MCQ, right? But there are certain things you have to take note of, okay, when you do vocab close. Because some students often don't get full marks for vocab close because not because they don't know the meaning of the words, but because they were not using the right strategies. Okay, so vocab close. Editing. So at P3-4, your editing might be a bit different because it could vary from school to school. They might be separating the spelling editing and the grammar editing for you in the test paper, or they might be merging that. We'll be looking at editing skills as well. Compre close skills. A lot of you are asking how to score in Compre close. Okay, so I'm sure the teachers here can share with you. And lastly, Compre OE skills. We are not going to do a lot of questions today, but we are going to discuss how to use ALP to become more accurate in the way we answer our Compre questions, okay? Oh, there's already a question if I blank a billionaire. Okay, that one. That's a very common question. So later on, Tobias, if I forget, please put it down in chat again, okay? If I were a billionaire. Okay, let's talk about this dude called Captain Ace, okay? He's a superhero. It's Mr. Sham's creation, okay, superhero, Captain Ace. So Captain Ace, he has a very interesting looking face, okay, because He has crosses for eyes, and a lot of students will ask, does it mean he's dead? No, he's not dead. He's a superhero, okay? So the crosses means to cancel out. So when we look at Captain A's, when you do any MCQ question, there are four options or three options for listening, right? Do you just read and you put in a number? Is that your step? That means you only take two steps. Read the question and write down the answer. Okay, so Captain Ace is asking you to just slow down. Slow down so that you can be very sure, right? Sniff out the clues. Okay, what are the keywords and clues in the sentence? And then quickly, once you see the clues, there are some very obviously wrong options. Cross them out. And usually there are two very obviously wrong options. And then you're left with two. One is the answer and one is a distractor. Okay, that's when you need to again go back to the keywords and confirm using your knowledge in grammar and vocab to pick the right answer. So Captain Ace is here to remind you to slow down and don't rush, especially when it comes to our low-hanging fruit, our MCQs, okay? Okay. Why come up crosses? Crosses to remind you, cross out the things that don't make sense. They are definitely wrong. Okay? But he's definitely energetic and alive. Okay. So let's see. Have all of you tried the questions? Raise your hand if you have tried all the questions in today's preparation pack. We have quite a huge crowd tonight. Okay. Thank you for joining us. We're very happy that very heartened, to always see that there are so many students willing to learn. If you don't have the paper, it's okay. Just follow me as I'm going through the questions. Then you can take down any notes on a separate piece of paper, okay? The materials, thank you, Sweaty, for sharing it with the participants tonight. So we are going to look at some tricky MCQ questions today. So not only do you get to practice Captainese, you also get to maybe clarify and just confirm your understanding of some grammar rules. Okay? So if you're not done, it's okay. I usually don't just show the answer. I always explain or talk. And teachers, please feel free to interrupt me, okay, at any point. As usual, our freestyle. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, you're giving me the answers already. That's fast. But Captain Ace, let's go through the steps, okay? So today we have P3, P4 students as well, and they are still learning these skills, okay? So I'm not going to like rush through and all that. We are going to go through step by step. Okay. Tobias, why must you type twice? Okay, question one. Remember Captain Ace, huh? The burglar broke blank the flat in the middle of the night. So step one, sniff the clues. Where are the clues in this sentence? Where are the clues in this sentence? Okay, all of you are very excited to give me the answer, but I don't want the answer first. I want the clues. The flat, the flat, okay, possible, yes. The flat is a space, right? Someone's home. Okay, yes, it's a clue. Broke. What else? Only broke blank the flat? Actually, we are very close. Some of you might identify burglar also because burglars always do something. They always break blank spaces, the bank, the flat, someone's condominium, house, whatever. And broke could go with any of these prepositions, right, to form a phrasal verb. So can you tell me, now we sniffed the clues already, what can we eliminate? What can we cross out? Definitely wrong. You know for sure. Broke, this cannot be in the flat. Number one, broke on the flat, correct. Okay, you can't break on the flat. That doesn't make sense. Three is break onto the flat. Very good. These are definitely out. Now we're left with into and inside. And say into and inside, they are both related to a space, an indoor space, right? Where you could enter. So yes, one of them is the answer and one is a distractor. So based on your understanding of phrasal verbs and what they mean, okay, I'm just going to type here. Based on your understanding of phrasal verbs and what they mean, can you tell all the teachers here what is the right answer? Broke into the flat or broke inside the flat? Onto.
Today, I really hope to see them not rush.
Yes.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, today, okay, we don't do emergency landing. The whole idea is when you look at the question, don't be so quick to say, must be number 2, must be number 3 or 4 or whatever. The thing is slow down. Because the whole point here, we're so close to exams, the whole point here is not a speed contest, but rather a test of your precision. So you want to be quick, yes, but accurate, not quick and go, oops, I didn't see that. Okay, so once you shade your OAS, you also try to avoid messing it up. You don't want to be shading and erasing all 3 bubbles until you figure out the correct answer. So from question 2 onwards, let's have no one spam the chat until you have done working with your eyes, those of you who have not printed, and those of you who have printed things out, really use pen or pencil to do working on your paper. This is the main way for you to improve before your end of year exams.
Thank you, Mr. Sham. Okay, so like I mentioned, slow down. Oh, some students are sharing with us their results. Very good. Congratulations. Okay. Hard work pays off. We just need to be patient. So what a burglar does is it breaks into a place. Okay. Not for fun, for stealing. Okay, so we use this. That means they forced themselves in. No one invited them. They picked the lock or something like that and broke into the flat.
Yeah.
You
So
cannot break.
what's the difference between into and inside? Like, for example, when do you use inside? Can anyone give me an example? Like if I ask you, where exactly are you? I don't see you at all, Mavis. I'm at junction 8. I don't see you. So Mavis, where are you? Using number 4 as the answer.
I'm inside. I'm in the mall. I'm in the
Inside,
mall.
I'm also
Yeah.
in the mall. Where are you? So Mavis has to say, I'm inside Body Shop,
Ah. Or
inside
in
a space. So when you
space.
look at the
Yes.
sentence again, I know both words have this idea of being in somewhere, but the main phrase, if you do your working, you should draw a bracket, broke, and the blank. The bracket should be there. So you shouldn't read it as the burger broke inside the flat in the middle of the night. Rather, if you read it properly, the burger broke into the flat, broke into the flat. It's a whole phrase. Yes, it's a break in.
Okay.
Burglar. I
So
didn't see burger. Some of you are hungry, is it? Hungry,
yeah.
tangry.
So if you say the burglar broke inside the flat, that means he said, I'm breaking, and he's inside the flat. Okay, so that one is wrong. That one is wrong. Okay. So first question, phrasal verb. Do phrasal verbs come out? Yes, they do come out in the exams. Phrasal verbs are challenging. Even for adults, right? We do make mistakes sometimes because so many and there are multiple meanings. But the good news is we can learn. Okay, we can learn. So expect phrasal verb questions. Okay, the next one, my favorite, tenses. Okay, don't tell me the answer. Don't tell me the answer. Tell all the teachers here you're working. So let's sniff out the clues. What are the clues in this sentence that will point us to the right answer? Mr. Shang is asking for clues. Okay, the boys.
Okay.
Okay,
So what I
okay,
also tell them, for those who are
plural.
so eager to do something to their paper, okay, this is a more fun and speedier way to do it. So many of you put the boys first, plural. Okay, then what should you put a cross next to already? If it's
Yes,
plural, you have to put a cross next to has seen. Okay, but you still have to
yes.
read the whole sentence.
Mm.
Read the whole sentence. The
What
boys
else?
who blank the movie were not impressed by the special effects. So your brain must be telling you the movie is over. Right. So number 2 is the worst of all answer. Then
Okay.
many of you are going to put number 1, is it? Oh, because past tense, the movie is over.
Mm,
So, yeah, for sure it's number 1. You better think again.
impressed. Okay, were not impressed, yes. So there is a past tense here. Now we are looking at can we use the present tense? Can we cancel out for also? Because have is present tense, okay? So it is out. This whole thing is over. So have seen is also out. We are left with saw or had seen. What's the difference between saw or had seen? Saw is past, and then had seen it's past perfect, right? Do you know when to use what? Do you know when to use what? Do you know when to use what? When if you draw a timeline here, students.
Yeah, we put the time now. Now it's 7:14. So we're out of the theater, Mavis. We're at junction 8
Mm.
now.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
so it's
movie ended at
7:14
10
now.
p. Okay, never mind. I put 10 p.m.
Seven
already.
o'clock.
Okay, past perfect. So they were not impressed at 10 p.m. Okay, for example, I already wrote 10, sorry. They were not
Yeah.
impressed at 10 p.m. What time did they watch the movie? Earlier, right? Maybe the movie started at 8 p.m. Yeah. So when did they see the movie? When did they see the movie? Earlier, before 10 p.m., right? So we need to use the past perfect tense. Why not have seen? Have seen is present perfect. That means it's still happening now, which is not true because the movie is over. Okay? So the correct answer, have seen is definitely out because of the tense. Whether we saw or had seen. So once you draw the timeline, the answer is very clear. It is number three. You have to watch the movie or have to see the movie first before you can form some sort of impression or have some sort of emotion about it. Okay, response about it. Yes. So draw a timeline, move back or forward when you have to. Okay? So far, okay? Even our younger students doing good. English not no doesn't matter.
Tobias says, I thought this is English, not maths. Tobias, then I ask you, when you do maths, do you not read English? Sometimes there are those confusing problem sums. Okay, Tom gave some, then after that, he gave somebody else something. So after doing this and that, how many sweets are left? Untenses. So don't, we are very close to exams. Let's not pick on whether it's maths. Whatever it is, the concept of time is in your tenses. Okay, so time is not limited to maths. You also learn it in science because you need to sequence the reactions of chemicals and things that happen when you boil them.
Thank you, Mrs. Shang. Okay. Tobias, too stressed out is it because of PSLE? Yeah? Starting to try to talk about funny things. Okay, let's move on to the third question. This is one of the hot favorites when we talk to students about the use of the W words. Okay, so the P6s here, I know you are very confident already, right? When it comes to such
No,
questions.
yesterday I went through this. A
Oh
lot
no.
of them chose number one, this kind of question, number one, without thinking. Okay, so all of you must slow down. There must be a reason why they test this almost every other year because they know on instinct, many of you would just put number one without thinking. So is the number one the correct answer? Okay, some of them are being very
What's the answer
technical,
for
the
question two?
subject, this and that. What is the best way to deal with this? Okay, today we revise with you how to deal with number three. So all of you know because a singer is a human, you will cross out number two already. You better cross out number two because some of you might accidentally shade the wrong OAS. So you better put two as out first. Many of you also know it's not number four.
Because this is for
And then
possession, right?
some of them will choose number three for the sake of it. But what if the answer is one? So you better check. The popular
Mm.
singer blank, everyone had been waiting for. So we change everyone to we. We had been waiting at the airport for whom? For him, for them. Is it all the fans were waiting at the airport for Taylor Swift, for her? So you have to do some working. Waiting for whom is the answer. So you got to slow down. Because some of you, I find they always get this wrong. And then after that, they went, oh, I forgot to do working. Oh, I forgot there's an action here. They just see a popular singer and then they click on one. Okay, whether it's Kahoot or whether it's a written paper, you got to be very careful.
Okay, so I've drawn some arrows. It's like a cycle, right? So Mrs. Sham has mentioned everyone is we. What's the action? Waiting, right? Had been waiting. So the we are doing the action of waiting. What are we waiting for? We are waiting for her. And her is an object pronoun. So if it's an object pronoun, do we use who or whom? So students, who is a subject pronoun, okay? So if you are talking about the actor, you use who. Whom is an object pronoun. Her is an object pronoun. Okay, we use it for objects like her or him. So the answer is 3. Okay, did everybody get it right? Did all of you get it right? Okay, tell us, be honest. Yes, okay. Very good. Very good. The point is, yes, fit in an example, rephrase the sentence, and then you will be closer to the right answer, okay? So far, okay. Let's take a look at number 4. This one. See, which one? What do I look at? Neither you nor I. What rule do we use here? P4s, 5s, please feel free to participate. Okay, type it in the chat. Neither nor what rule do we usually, not usually, what rule do we use? What
They
rule do
are
we
happily typing. Again, where are the clues? Whether you circle you or nor I, there are obvious things you should cancel. Which is the worst answer of them? Or can we do the mirror on the wall thing? Which is the worst answer of them all? Whether it's you or I, was is the worst, right?
Is it the worst?
Some of them say M is the worst. Was is the worst. You don't say you was here, isn't it?
Yes, I think is the worst. Because you cannot say you is, neither can you say I is.
Is and was is the worst because the second line says, I think we should wait for help. Mavis, I think we should wait. We should not start this webinar until more teachers come in. Right? This is happening now.
Yes. They're all wrong.
They're all wrong.
This is happening now. So if it's happening now, then of course the past tense verb is out. Okay. We're left with M or R. So if you say teacher rule of proximity, the subject closest to the blank, it's based proximity means near, right? In this machine, or I are familiar with operating this machine. So once you eliminate the wrong ones because of these clues, then you say, oh, no one says I are at all. It has to be number 2. I am. So neither you nor I am familiar with operating this machine. Okay, same for either or. So I remember 2 days ago, some students will say, teacher, what about either or? Saying either or, you also use the rule of proximity, okay? It's the same. Now let me ask, because today we have more students, non-P6 students, what if the sentence begins with neither of the twins? Do I say neither of the twins want or wants the candy? Is it want or wants? Neither nor and either or rule of proximity. Closest blank. But neither of the twins means 0, right? 0. So it's the singular, okay? So don't mix up. Neither of is not rule of proximity. Neither of is just basically, I'm just saying there's no one. We're using subject-verb agreement, okay? Okay? So don't mix them up. Don't mix them up. Okay. So far, everyone, 4.4? 4.4 so far, everybody? Do working, yes. Thank you, Mr. Shah. Now, number 5. For questions with all these various linking words to show cause effect or contrast and so on, you must really understand what the sentence is talking about. So can you tell me what are the clues in this quite a complex, quite a long sentence, okay, quite a long sentence. My mother is not going to allow me to attend the birthday party blank. I complete all my school assignments. Don't tell me the answer. Like all the teachers say here, do your working. What are the clues? Is not going a clue. Not going to allow me. I would say this whole phrase. Not going to allow me. Okay, what is the other clue?
That's the condition. That's the condition. What? Stop spamming.
Jaden, don't spam, okay? What is the complete all my school assignments? Okay, so logically, when you don't complete your school assignments, can you go out? No. The condition is you must complete your school assignments, then you can go out. Correct? So completing your school assignments is the condition, okay? If you do it, you get what you want. If you don't do it, you don't get what you want. Now, what about this phrase? Not going to allow me. Not going to allow me. So now they say, hey, this is not, not going to allow me and complete all my school assignments, which means this word here cannot be cause effect, cannot be a cause effect linking word, right? Because if it's a cause effect linking word, then it will be my mother will allow me to go out if I complete all my homework. It would be a cause effect. So over here, which one can we eliminate straight away? Because it will not make sense. Since my mother is not going to allow me since I complete all my homework. Oh, that's very unreasonable. Anyway, it doesn't make sense, right? My mother is not going to allow me. So to take revenge, I want to complete my school homework. Doesn't make sense. Okay? So that's another funny storyline. We're not going to go there. Okay, just logical. We're left with unless and although. Although sometimes we use it to show contrast, right? So that's a distractor. What about unless? What does unless mean? What does unless mean? Do you all know? What does unless mean? Yes, very good. Okay. If you are P6 and you can tell me this very quickly, you are ready. Unless means if not. So if I put unless here, it means my mother is not going to allow me to attend a birthday party if I do not complete all my school assignments. Does that make sense? Yes. So unless is the right answer. And you try to put although here. My mom is not going to allow me to attend the party, although I complete all my school assignments. Again, a very unreasonable situation. So this is out. The answer is unless. Okay? Uh, except if not correct. So this can come out in MCQ. This could come out in editing. This could come out in S&T. Okay? Compre close, possible as well, okay? So you need to know how unless is being used. And of course, you need to know how to use although and since and so on. Okay? Clear so far? Now, so far, who has full marks? 5 upon 5. Raise your hand so that all the teachers can tell. 5 upon 5. Yay, very good. We have a lot of you tonight, so respond. Respond to us. Okay. Very good. All of you. Now, question 6. It's a bit tricky. Question 6 is a bit tricky. Question 6, it's easy to mix up question 6 with another question. So I will not tell you the other question yet. I want you to try this. And this is a bit tricky. So don't tell me the answer. Don't tell me the answer. What are the keywords in this question? Proximity. What are we talking about? Is every Friday afternoon, okay, can? Yes, every Friday afternoon, the moment it is an ongoing thing, we can eliminate past tense verbs, right? Past tense verbs. So visited is out. About visiting, volunteers who visiting the old folks home. Also not grammatical, right? Should be are visiting, is visiting. So cannot. Now we are left with these two. Visit or visits. The challenge now is here. It's easy to mix this up. Okay, so before I give you the or explain the answer to you, I want to show you another sentence. I want to show you another sentence. Wait, this one, okay? This one. If this is the sentence, what is the answer? If this is the sentence, what is the answer? Okay, I enlarged it a little bit. These two sentences are not the same, correct? They're not the same. So now, no, oh no, oh no.
Oh
Okay,
no.
let's take a look at this first because this one you'll definitely know. This one you have been doing this for a long time, right? George, comma, who is one of the volunteers, comma, blank the old folks home. Who's the subject? George, right? And then we always draw this arrow. And then we always say this is extra information, correct? So this would be visits because George is one person. Okay? Now, this sentence in the question is a bit different. Firstly, who, this blank is related to the word who. Who is referring to, is this who referring to George or is this who referring to volunteers. Is this who referring to George, or is this, okay, this who is referring to volunteers. So the blank here has to match the plural volunteers, okay? So George is one of them. George is one of them. This whole phrase is plural. This whole phrase is plural. George is one of them. So the word here is actually not visits. You don't use the same rule here and say, oh, it's George subject. Then you quickly draw an arrow. Okay? Work this way because this is a tricky question. Okay? So because it's plural, we have to then cancel out visits, and the answer is visit. Okay? So do you all understand? Because I've seen this question, not very common, but I have seen it in school papers before. Okay, and students will say, but my teacher said the subject is George, and therefore the verb must match George. But look at the, who are we really talking about? Who is who referring to? Plural. Okay? Okay. So you can take down this question as well. Okay, just to remind yourself that they're not the same. They're not the same. Okay? Answer is 1. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to pause it for a while because I'm at question 6 already. Taking it down, wait, please. Yes, sure. We'll wait for a while. At this point, just
It'll be
now,
good to take photo instead so that
yeah.
we can move on. Okay, so
Yeah.
those of you who have phones or you learn how to do a screenshot, you have a Word document out so that you can always screenshot and paste onto a document. That way you don't have to copy everything down.
Just Tobias did ask a question. So while they are maybe taking photos or taking screenshots and copying, Tobias asked, is it if I blank a billionaire, comma, I would. So what's in that blank? If I was a billionaire, if I am a billionaire, if I were a billionaire. So I'm going to just type this question in this space here, okay?
I
If
believe we covered this during the Power Up Bootcamp.
Yeah, and you're
Very,
still asking
very
Tobias.
sure. Yes.
What about those who were not there during the boot camp? Is it is it is it am, was, or were? Which one? Why were? What was? I was is grammatical, right? I am is also grammatical. This whole sentence is not real. It's imagined, like you're just daydreaming, okay? Daydreaming is not real. So for something that's not real, hypothetical and unreal, we use were. Even if it looks like that. If she were my sister, I would have scolded her. Okay? It's still were, even though it's she. Because she's not my sister. I'm just imagining. Okay, so this is a hypothetical conditional sentence. Okay? So it's always were. Okay? Especially for this unrealistic, imaginative, imagination sort of question or statement. All right? Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Shang. Yes, yes, yes. If I were. Okay. Let's move on to question 7. Okay, question 7, there are 2 blanks, which means there will be a bit more clues, perhaps. So let's take a look. Don't tell me the answers. Tell us the clues. There are 2 blanks here. What's the blank for blank? What's the clue for blank one? What's the clue for blank one? Money is always singular and money is uncountable. Hmm.
Hmm. No.
It's not very accurate, but okay, I
There
understand
is
what
a there's a main clue word. What is the clue word? I always have this to tell them. If they get a double barrel question, that means there are 2 answers. Do the part that's easier. Can you tell me, is the first blank easier to do or the second blank? So
the
if the
second
second
blank.
blank is easier, what can we cross out already? Money. You say many money, I have many money or I have much money. So very quickly, you just need to use your pencil and cross out number 2 and number 4. At least your answer is not the 2 worst answers. Then there's one more clue.
$30,000. 30,000. I thought we can count. So is it countable or not countable? Whenever we see dollars, $10, $30,000, it is still considered an uncountable money, uncountable. Yes, you can count
The
$1,
right thing to
$2.
do, Mavis, actually
Mm.
to highlight the whole phrase, $30,000.
Ah,
You
okay.
write it, all of you write it in numbers. Then maybe you understand. $30,000. And there's one more clue, a small amount. You see, there's some words or names like James. Because there's an S, does that make James a plural person?
Mm.
James are not a small boy. Is it? Is that how you do it? It is one amount. It is a total amount. So sometimes you hear people say, a total of $30,000 was raised this afternoon. Thank you, everyone. Okay, at a charity fair. A total of a certain amount was raised this afternoon.
Yes.
Okay, it's
So
one amount.
singular. Yes, Nitin, the answer is one. You were right, okay? So $30,000 is not a small amount. Okay? $10 is not a small amount for some people as well. Okay, so it is. Why sad face? Why is there a sad face? Seraphine. Okay, subject verb agreement. Yeah, so countable and uncountable, you need to know the rules, right? When is money countable? When is money countable? When you use the word, when you use words like bills or notes, right? There are many dollar bills here. So you can use many. I have $10 bills here, okay? Dollar bills, dollar notes. You can say many. I have many, oops, I have many $10. Let me just type it up. Mm.
Coins? How many coins? How many coins? It's not whether $2 is countable. You have to look at how the sentence is written.
Mm. So bills and notes, you can count one note,
Yeah, you
two
say
notes, right?
$2 was stolen from me. Literally $2 were stolen from me. $2 is a small amount.
Mm.
It depends on how you
So
use it.
much.
Okay?
Okay, coins are countable, right? One coin, two coin, but
Yeah, so you say the
cents.
$10 bills were stolen from the cashier.
Mm. Mm.
If you put
Let me
it
type
that
it out.
way, sometimes at the end, okay, not sometimes, every day at the end of the day at 7-Eleven, they have to total the bills and they have to count, right? So if money goes missing, the person would have to say, I remembered putting 10 $50 notes there. So all the $50 notes are gone. Because you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All the $50 notes are gone.
A student
Okay,
asked
and
about
then the
furniture.
supervisor would say, well, this amount is not a small one. Okay, you better account for it.
So, Mr. Sham, a student asked about furniture and equipment,
Yes,
is
I
it?
typed it in. It's a tricky one. Usually you have all the furniture is stolen, right? But what happens if you write it as all the furniture and equipment blank stolen? So I think maybe this is tricky because sometimes they don't see it as all the furniture and all the equipment. It becomes two types of things are stolen.
Mm, you're right.
Yeah, so all of you must be very, very careful. You cannot say all countable means it's plural or all singular means it is singular. You have to look at how many things are mentioned.
Yes. Okay, let
So
me number it.
obviously when this is tricky, Yuito shared it actually with me several weeks ago. And he said, okay, I don't understand why the answer is R. Because now the problem is there are two kinds of things that are stolen.
Hmm.
But because you only use all once. So if you say on the plate, okay, you like what my friend's cat did. We had beef on the plate, and then we had fish on the plate, And then you go, oh dear, all the fish and beef is or are gone. So it's all of this and all of that are gone.
Dishes, right? Yeah. You can't count beef, but you can count the dishes, right? So how many dishes were mentioned? If there are two dishes mentioned, then it becomes plural, correct? But furniture on its own, like furniture, equipment, luggage, the only way to use them in a plural way is if we put in front pieces of furniture, pieces of equipment, pieces of luggage, then they become plural. Okay? Wait, let me just put this. Plural possible. Okay? Yeah, so just take note because it will, if you're writing a composition, and because I've seen students when they talk about compositions where characters are traveling and then they use luggages, right? So that's incorrect, okay? So make sure you know and S and T, if equipment is given to you and then you say, oh, but it's more than one, so I add an S behind, and then again that's wrong. Okay, so do know all these, huh? Number eight. Number eight. Let me zoom out a little bit. Number eight. Blank, we call the police if we see something suspicious at a train station? Question mark. Which one is definitely out? We, or what's the clue first? Call the police. See something suspicious. Call the police. Okay?
The
So
best trick to do is to answer the question. What's the correct answer? What's the
we
best
must
way if
call the
somebody
police.
asks you this?
We must call the
Huh?
police. We could call the police. We would call the police, or we should call the should call the police.
Okay,
Two
good.
and three.
They say couldn't is not correct. Wouldn't
Wouldn't and
we is ugly, yes, not correct.
if you see something, oh, oh, okay.
Should you
If
say,
you
should
see
we
something,
not do this or must we not do this? Should we not do this or must we not do this? Because calling the police is an action.
you should we not do this? Okay. So if you
Mm.
see something suspicious, you should do it because you're a responsible citizen, okay, civic minded. You don't want anything to go wrong. You want to protect everybody. So you should do it. It's not like you must do it because must means you're obligated to. Okay, let's say you have an important role and if you don't do it, something bad is going to happen. So it's not that. But you should do it because that's the right thing to do. You should do it because it's the right thing to do. Okay? Yeah. Don't have to call police. Okay? Number four. Next up. The moment we have all these grammatical rules and all that in place, right? When you look at components like editing, it's no longer so daunting, okay? You apply your rules there as well. Let's take a look at number nine. Lucy, what her homework when she heard a loud bang from upstairs? Ah, this is another kind of question. How do you know? Oh, just give me the answer. When she heard, what's the clue? Is it at the same time? Is it at the same time? Is it two actions happening at the same time? Is that what we are looking at? Not really. It's not two actions happening at the same time. It is when the first action is interrupted by a second action. When there is an interruption, when there is an interruption, then we use a particular verb form. Okay, when there's an interruption, we use a particular verb form. So do y'all learn this? ING, okay, ING, but no, what about the tense? What about the tense? Oh, question 8. Okay, let me scroll it up for a while. Okay, let me just type this out.
what we can do, we can show both questions. Yeah.
Okay. First action first action interrupted by second action. When this happens, we use a particular tense. Very good. Past continuous. When this happens, we use past continuous. So actually, past continuous has two functions, right? One is to basically describe something that was happening in the past. It was happening. Another way of using past continuous is here, like that, when the first action is being interrupted by a second action, okay? Past continuous. Okay, so there are a few students asking what time do we end? We end at 9 p.m. Okay, we end at 9 p.m. But if you need to rush off to do something, it's okay. You can go ahead. All right. So no problem. Past continuous tense. So which one is past continuous? Straight away. If you know this rule, you can eliminate already. Did is out. It's not past continuous. It's past. Is doing is present continuous. Had done is past perfect. We only have one left. Right. So 4. Okay. So I was eating when I heard a boom. I was jogging when someone tapped me on my shoulder, like that. Okay. So that's the use of past continuous. Okay. Truly is the worst. Okay. Last question. This is our question tag type of questions. Okay, I know the P6 is very seasoned already. You know how to answer this question, right? What is the working? What is the
Yes,
working?
what's the working? We know that you know hardly is the clue, but still people write the opposite answer. Hardly, when you break it down, how do you make it into one of the words down
Don't
below?
they keep using positive, negative, positive, it gets
Yeah,
confusing.
it's not that. You have to write it properly. Rewrite
Mm.
the sentence in a longer way.
Don't use negative, positive because it can get confusing. Okay. So we really break this, like Mrs. Sham said, break it down. So hardly visits means does not
Not
visit
always, yeah, does
often,
not
right?
visit often.
Okay. So when you write it out, you see does not. And you know in the question tag, it is the opposite of the verb here, right? The verb phrase here. So what's the opposite of does not? The moment you see this, you know will is out, you know won't is out. Now, does or doesn't, it has to be the opposite of does not. Does not means doesn't, right? Does not means doesn't. So doesn't is also out. It is does. Why we don't want to encourage you to use the negative, positive thing is because some students are hardly visits. Is it negative or positive? Is it subjective? If I hardly visit somebody, is it good or bad? We don't want to go there, okay? So negative and positive is very confusing. All right, so the answer is 2. Does she? Okay. Have been? What are all these answers about? What have been?
Oh no, I'm helping somebody.
Oh, I see luggages. Okay. Could I provide the answer for earlier questions? Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. We have just finished the grammar section, so I'm going to just share with you, okay? So for those of you, just quickly jot it down, take screenshots. Mr. Sham is answering question about luggage. Luggage has no luggages. Okay, no luggages. I know a lot of people say luggages, but it's wrong. Okay, it's wrong. You can gently correct your friends when they say that, okay? Okay, question 3, 4, 5. Actually, 2. Let me see. Some of you just joined, is it? Okay. Okay. Understand. Some of you just joined. Why is question 2 not saw? I don't understand. You just joined, is it? You see this timeline? Who is it? Harvey. So, we're not impressed is here at 10 p.m. Watching the movie was at 8 p.m., which is earlier than the past tense. So we use past perfect tense, not past tense. Understand? Okay, so draw a timeline. Will these questions of it? These are common question types. They may come out in the PSLE. So when they do come out, you don't be surprised. Okay? Yeah. Selected some more tricky ones and common ones. Mr. Shaw. Thank you, Mr. Shah. Okay, she's typing in caps already, guys. You need to listen. Okay, take down notes. Okay. All right. Okay, we are going to move on to vocab close. So I want to ask everybody here, just share with us, okay, if you are able to type. What do you do when you come across a vocab close? I know in P4 there are also there might your schools might have introduced you to vocab close, okay, or some sort of vocab fill in the blank. Yeah. What do you usually do? What do you usually do when you see a vocab close? Do you just straight away go question 16? Okay, okay, question 16. I go and look for the same meaning and then I just write my answer down. Wow. Read the text first. Okay, very good. Yes. They give you a text. So if they don't want you to read a text, they wouldn't given you a text. So there's a purpose, right? Read the passage first, then the options, then fit in the paragraph. Okay, we're very close. Very close. Okay. So the first thing is you have to read the text and understand, comprehend it, comprehend it. And then, yeah, so those of you who've been attending our webinars, you know the technique. Very good. I'm so glad you remember them. When you have all these words that are underlined and in bold, right? And of course, there are options given. And the first thing you need to know is very often the options are very close in meaning. This is what it's designed to test if you truly understand how a word is being used in a particular setting or context. Okay, it's designed for that purpose, try to test you. So if you see very similar options, it should not be surprising. What we do is after reading the text, we ask ourselves, how do these words work in the sentence or in the text? So for example, question 16. If the internet has taught us anything, it would be that we have an astonishing capacity to waste time on addictive content. Astonishing. I mean, you might have heard of that word, you've used it before, right? Astonishing. Yeah, I know. I've seen that word before. Now, how is astonishing used here? Astonishing is used here to describe your ability to do something. So I'm not talking about you saw something, you go, wow, okay? It's a different context. I'm talking about your ability, you're like, wow, you can do this, that that kind of context. Okay, an astonishing capacity to waste time. Okay, a bit sarcastic, but never mind. An astonishing capacity to waste time. Then once we have understood, oh, okay, it's talking about how people can waste so much time, so much until it gets a bit, unbelievable, right? Then we go to the option. Okay. Again, we use Captain A's because this is MCQ. So what can we definitely cross out? Like they're ridiculous. They don't even match astonishing. They are not even close synonyms. And they don't match the blank. They do not match capacity. So when you're doing vocab close, the correct answer must be able to replace the phrase here in terms of meaning, in terms of use. Okay? So what can we cross out, ladies and gentlemen?
Meanwhile, I've tagged in 2 questions for them to do in the chat because I
Yes,
think
yes.
some of them don't understand what we mean when we say, don't just pick on dictionary
Yeah.
meanings.
No.
Yeah, so I've typed in something very easy. I have a nasty itch. I have a nasty temper. Are the 2 nasties the same? So be very careful, okay?
4 and 3. They say 4 and 3 are definitely wrong. Humongous. Yeah. We don't say humongous capacity, right? We don't use the word humongous to describe ability. Like, wow, you have a humongous ability to do well in the exams. No, I don't ever do that. So humongous is out. Anyway, humongous is a very casual word, very informal word, okay? So we don't use it. Admirable. Admirable capacity to waste time.
What
Admirable
I
is not.
actually tell my students, especially those of you, especially if you get 2 out of 5 always, can you write the word on top for practices? Now you've got several days. Some of you are still doing practices. Write out the phrase. You must know what this word describes, what is next to it, and what it describes. So here it is astonishing capacity. So you must draw blank capacity. don't just write an astonishing, because once they look
Yeah.
at astonishing, they will put they'll just randomly do. So
Yes.
next to the question, you should have
Yeah.
blank capacity. So you know this word must go with capacity. This text, okay, this section actually tests your understanding of word collocations. Do the words fit together? It's not whether you know the meaning of the word. Yeah. So if you put on top, even number 16, just draw a line and you put capacity, then you try to fit in there. Okay. So all of you, if you haven't done working, this is about the only working you should really do to ensure you get 5 out of 5. Too many of them lose marks here, which is terrible.
Yeah. Let me increase the size. Okay. So is it a resounding capacity? What's resounding? When do we use resounding? When do we
Resounding
use
is got to do with
resounding?
a resounding thud, is it? It's a sound kind of thing, or a resounding applause, something very loud
Ah,
and clear.
yes.
Capacity is what you can do. So that's the clue already. It's the ability to do something. So you don't say a resounding ability or capacity. So if you do all these elimination, you will arrive at the answer. Then some of them are also asking, what if you don't know all the words? Then
Mm.
sometimes you'd have to ask yourself, is it a positive word? Is it related to the text or the content? So definitely humongous, all of you know, is a huge, like very, very huge. Admirable has to do with admiring somebody's character. Someone is very amazing, so, or has very good quality. So you say he's an admirable character, not capacity. So whatever it is, you wouldn't have chosen 3 or 4. And then between 1 and 2, you make a choice. So what the teachers are telling you is this: you may not always get to the right answer, but if you do elimination, at least you won't be choosing the worst answer.
Mm. Okay. An incredible amount of time on, yes, correct, addictive content. It's like, wow, we can waste time. So incredible. If I say this is incredible, so usually incredible, like we have typed here, right? It's great and almost unbelievable. Like, wow, I didn't know, people can spend so much time. Is it admirable? Do you go, wow, it's so wonderful that you're wasting so much time? That's not the idea, correct? Okay, so admirable has a positive connotation, so we're not going to use it. Okay, what about number 17? My personal weakness is, without a doubt, fail videos. So without a doubt here is used to emphasize something. Okay, so when we want to emphasize something, and you look at the options, they're all adverbs, right? It's
Anyone knows
without a
the
doubt.
one word to replace without a doubt?
Without a doubt.
Anyone knows? I think my class has, because I asked them to guess a word last week. Without a doubt. Okay, we look at my
Mm.
stretchers worksheet right at the bottom. Without a question. What is the word? Unquestionably, right? So without a doubt. Without a question is unquestionably. So without a doubt.
Means you are very sure. You are very sure. Which one of these options here means very
Un
sure, for
yeah,
sure,
undoubtedly. Undoubtedly.
undoubtedly?
Not undoubtedly. Okay, we're also testing you revising important words to spell correctly. Undoubtedly.
So authentically means it's real, okay? Authentic,
Mm.
not fake. Apparently means obviously. Doesn't match. It's not without a doubt, obviously. Specifically, it's just this one. So it's definitely, okay, for sure, without a doubt. Okay? Undoubtedly, definitely. And they're close synonyms. You can use them interchangeably in most contexts. Okay? All right, number 18. Number 18. You know the sort. What kind of fail video? So you know the sort, okay? That kind, a 10-minute compilation of 6-second clips of people who are about to end up in a hospital but do not know it yet. So these fail videos, basically people do stunts, right? Daredevils, they do stunts and then they could get injured. So the word here is compilation. Well, there are many things we can compile, but over here, it's a compilation of clips, means video, short videos, okay? Video clips. Okay, so a compilation of video clips. So is it just, it cannot be just one video clip, right? A compilation would be multiple 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds. So it's definitely more than one. Now let's take a look at the options here. Okay, I'm going to just again type the word compilation. Oh, hi, Mr. Quack. Okay,
Yes,
compilation
it's
of
important to do compilation of videos because a lot of them, they would choose anthology, for example. Anyone knows what is anthology for? You say an anthology of, what is that?
If you go to the library and then you find those thick books, right? The thick books, they're usually an anthology because it's a collection of many, could be short stories, okay, and so on. So anthology is a collection of literary work.
Not
Video clips
study
are
of
not.
ants, not study of ants. Okay, anthology. Goodness.
Okay. About computation. Computation is just to calculate something. So can we say computation of video clips? What are you trying to computate? Is it presentation to present the video clips? No. So if it's not anthology, then the closest answer is a collection. What's a collection? You just gather everything and put them together, compiling. That's a collection. Okay? So the right answer is 4. So far, the answer is 214. Okay? 214. So far, so good, huh? Now, when you do this, students, when you do this step by step, you realize that it's not so scary. This section is not so scary. A lot of students say, I cannot do well in vocab close. But you just try this out. Just try this out. It is possible, okay? Next one. Skateboards especially seem to play a role in an impressive fraction of failed videos. An impressive fraction of failed videos. I know you know what's fraction because you learned that in mathematics, but in this phrase, what does it mean? What does it mean? Not mathematics, right? Per se. What is it trying to say? What is it trying to say? That there are a lot of failed videos, and a lot of these fail videos are related to skateboarding. Correct? Correct. So over here we have 4 options. Fraction, impressive fraction of failed videos. Okay, I'm going to type out the whole phrase.
Here is where mathematics really do have to come in.
Videos, okay. So it's a fraction. When you do fractions, you break things up into parts, right? 50% is half, for example. So we have here what is definitely wrong. What is definitely wrong? Cross out. Let's cross out. Captain Ace. What is definitely wrong? Did we say impressive part of fail videos? An impressive part of fail videos? Cannot. Okay? Because what is a part of a fail videos? Doesn't make sense. What about impressive piece of fail videos? This is definitely out as well. So we're left with section or percentage. And they all kind of mean part, right? A part of something. So is it section or percentage? So that's when your mathematics context comes in, right? A percentage, a large. Impressive here means large. Impressive here doesn't just means wow. Impressive here means a really large amount, a really large portion, a really large percentage, not a really large section. What's a section? Some videos, what is a section of videos? It doesn't make sense in this context. Okay, so section is out as well. Okay. So some students say, but section is like fraction. Then you ask yourself, does section make sense in this whole phrase? A large section of failed videos. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Okay? So a large percentage. Number 20, last question. So far we have gone through 4. How are you doing so far? Let's look at the last one. Okay? I would like to take a moment to thank their writers for remembering to film and upload their most agonizing errors. Okay, so this whole text is about fail videos. It's for people who do these stunts and then fall down, get injured, Okay, and this person is saying, thank you guys for filming all this down, all your fail videos. It's very entertaining for me, but it's very agonizing for you. Okay, they're most agonizing errors. So, agonizing is an emotion, correct? But here, it's trying to describe the kind of mistakes or the outcomes of their behaviors, their daredevil behaviors. So, l- let me type out agonizing here. Okay, agonizing errors. What can we definitely cross out again? Quite obvious. What can we definitely cross out? Mind-boggling. Mind-boggling means you cannot wrap your head around it. You don't understand. You are a bit confused. Okay? So mind-boggling is out. What else? Definitely out. Number two, cancel it out. Frustrating, yeah. They got into accidents. They break their bones and so on. Is it just, frustrating? No, agonizing is more than frustrating. Agonizing involves pain. So this is out. Miserable also involves pain at times, right? I mean, it's possible. But miserable, do we say miserable errors or painful errors in this context of them getting into accidents? In this context of them getting into accidents, is it painful errors or miserable errors? It's like, oh, my life is so wretched, I keep getting into accidents. No, right? So the answer is one, painful errors. Okay? So you need to understand what this text is about. Then again, you can pick the best option. Oh, hi, Naewon. Naewon is our outstanding student. Okay, later on he can share some tips with you as well. Okay, isn't miserable more for say? Yeah, miserable is actually feeling very unhappy or wretched. Okay, so my life is miserable. I'm a miserable person. Okay, so very sad or feel a sense of wretchedness. Okay, so I'm not happy. Can? Okay. How many marks do you get for this section? Five marks. How many marks do you get? Tell the teachers. Yes, Tobias one. Tobias is like our dictionary now. He's giving us all the definitions. Full marks. Oh, 3 marks don't need to be sad. It's okay. Learn the techniques. Expand your vocabulary. Continue to understand how words with different meanings are being used in different contexts. Okay? Then you can become more accurate in your answer. All right. Now, we editing. So, at secondary level, you can ask Newun Koko over here, okay? At secondary level, when it comes to editing, the errors are not marked out for you. Okay, Mr. Shaw, the teachers here teach secondary level. The errors are not marked out for you. You're supposed to spot it. So at primary level, they have marked it out for you. The technique is a bit different. You know that they are testing you for spelling and grammar. So firstly, do you know how a spelling error looks like and how a grammatical error looks like in an editing test? How can you
Let's share with them some clues. Okay, so when you edit for spelling, how do you know it's a spelling or grammar error? One looks bad and one sounds bad. Which one is which? Can all of you tell us?
spelling errors, do they
Spell
look bad or sound bad?
spelling errors look bad. Sometimes you're looking at gibberish, right, Mavis? They don't look
Yeah,
like they should
nonsense word.
exist. They cannot possibly be found in the English dictionary. So spelling words looks bad, nonsensical spelling. Grammatical errors will sound wrong because they don't quite fit into the sentence. So the spelling word, when you read over, it looks bad, it sounds perfectly okay. Grammatical errors will make the whole sentence sound wrong or bad.
And most of the time, when it comes to grammatical error, I mean, they are spelled correctly. Okay, the grammatical errors are spelled correctly. It looks like a word that exists in the English dictionary. Okay, so now that you know that there are these two kinds of errors and this is how they look like on the paper, very quickly you can quickly see where are the grammatical errors and spelling errors. Correct? So all these very strange looking alien words, they are not real words. Those are spelling errors. Okay. Now, when it comes to grammatical errors, you apply your grammatical knowledge, your grammar knowledge, right? Or the grammar rules. So let's see. Have all of you tried this yet? Have all of you tried this yet? I want to give you all maybe a minute, a minute to try. A minute to try if you have not, okay? If you have not. If you
You can
have
get them to just type in all the answers for
your
21 to
answers,
25 in a row.
yes.
Yes.
21 to 25 first, five in a row. In a row. So that your comments don't keep getting pushed up, okay? Question 21. Okay. So the next thing I want to tell you is this. When there is a grammatical error, the correct answers are in the same word class, okay? Or what I call the same word family, okay? Or word family. So when your teachers tell you, oh, this is a noun, this is an article, this is a verb, those are important things you need to learn because you still need them in secondary school, okay? So let's take a look at question 21 because there are some words, some answers have come in for 21 and I see some wrong answers.
Let's
Mm.
ask them
So
word form. What kind of word
what,
is there? Do you all
what
know?
is there? What kind of
Yeah,
word is it?
our, her,
What kind of word?
his, their. What kind of word is this?
What kind
Pronouns,
of word?
not the same pronounce as saying the word correctly. Pronoun. Yes,
Okay,
it's a
pronoun. Then you
pronoun.
go and think about all the pronouns there are, right? He, she, it, they, them, her, him, all these are pronouns. Can the correct answer be the? Because I just saw the in the chat. Someone wrote the. Can it be the? What word form is the? The is an article, right? And some other articles are a and an. So if it's a pronoun, the correct answer cannot be an article. Okay, so that's how you know that it's not the right answer. You also don't change the word. Okay, that's not what we do in editing. So a lot of them put, I see some IT apostrophe S. Mm, what is IT apostrophe S? Okay, when the phrase, the phrase when it rains, it pours is often used to describe something bad happening all at once. Blank original meaning was actually positive. There's a clue here, right? This is something singular. Okay, this is something singular. There is plural. And what are we talking about? This phrase, one phrase. So a phrase is not a living thing, it's not a human being. So we can only use, I'm going to type it here first. It's. And some of you type IT apostrophe S. IT apostrophe S, um, IT apostrophe S means it is, which is wrong.
I've
Okay, I'm going
typed
to write
into the
this.
chat to
Yeah.
explain that. So all of
Yes,
you
thank you,
also
Mr.
look in
Shah.
the chat. It with the apostrophe and without. Okay, all of you must
Yeah.
look at the chat also to look at the examples I have put in.
Mm. Okay. I still see this. Some P6s are still making this mistake in their composition. Okay. Like it's okay. Since we are talking about it already, it's not the same as it's. Another one, it's your is not the same as your. This is you are. This is your. Okay. So this is a contraction. Anything with apostrophe s is apostrophe is a contraction. Okay, of two words. Of two words. Okay. So do take note of that difference. Okay. Next question. The phrase became popular. Teachers, you can just take a look at the answers. Alvin, we cannot hear you. The it's mistake is everywhere, even in schools.
Yes, the Sec 4s can't do this.
Oh
I
yeah.
just saw
Oh yeah,
it
my
in
sec
one
fours
of the
also make this
editing
mistake.
last
Mm,
week. They had one of those mistakes.
yeah. Yes, yes. Okay, so do take note now.
So
Okay,
the
but about
general rule is
yeah.
don't rush. If you know there's going
Mm-mm.
to be a trick, then you slow down and then you do some little working at the side and then you think very carefully with or without the apostrophe. So normally they don't test you for punctuation matters also.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Editing,
normally wouldn't test you like that.
yeah. So editing, no contractions. Okay, no contractions, no punctuation error and all that. What about next one? Looks like a English word spelled correctly. The phrase became popular in 1911 where the Morton Salt Company creates a new way to make table salt. Okay, so a lot of you teachers, they got it right. 1911, all of us were not born. Maybe except Mr. Quack. So 1911 is past, and this is a present tense verb, right? So we need to change the tense. This is pretty straightforward. You just need to make sure you spell it correctly, okay? Created. Created. Just make sure you spell it correctly, then it's fine. Okay? Because in this plural form, there's no singular or plural. Past tense form. Now, next one. Can you tell me what is at? What kind of word is at? Kind of word is at? Just now we said there is a pronoun. So what kind of word is at? Can you tell me? Can you tell me a preposition? Very good, okay? Preposition. There are so many prepositions in English. Prepositions of time, prepositions of space, blah, blah, blah. Okay, a lot. So the correct answer is also a preposition, not some other word.
They need this kind
Next,
of expression in science.
yeah. If
What
you
form does something come in? Isn't it? Comes in
ah,
what kind of form?
so if you read it quickly, you might not even catch it because at a coarse grain sounds fine, right? But in a particular form. So then after you put it in and say in is the answer, you check, is in a preposition? Yes, in is a preposition. And in particular form, it's correct and grammatical. So yeah, then it's in this particular form. Okay, so this is a grammar error. That cake together when the air was damp or humid. Okay, this is not a Korean word. It's spelled wrongly. Spelled wrongly. How do we spell humid? It's not a difficult word to spell, right? This is like a low-hanging fruit giveaway question present. Okay, humid, humid, Humid. Okay, so everyone must get this right. Morton's food scientists rectified this problem by reduction the size of the salt grains. What kind of word is reduction? Reduction is a noun, correct? Spelled correctly, so it's not a spelling error. It's a noun. Now, every time we see a noun, the error could be other forms of the same word. So reduction is the noun, reduce is the verb, reducing is the ing form of the word, reduced is the past tense of the word. One of these would be the answer. It will not be a totally different word. It cannot be a totally different word. We must go back to the base form, which is reduce. What form of reduce do we need to use over here? By reducing, right? By reducing, by doing this, by doing that. So the ing form of reducing. Some students, because why I'm saying this is because some students will just change the word. They change it to making. But it's wrong because the base form is reduce, not make. Okay? So do take note, the size of the salt grains and adding the tiny amount of magnesium carbonate. By adding the tiny amount. What is the? Just like I told you earlier on, right? The is an article. What other articles are there in the English language? Only two more, a or an. So it's either a or an. Tiny amount is not a vowel sound, so a tiny amount. Okay? Quite straightforward. Substance. So this is strange word. All of you know how to spell substance. You use that in science, so you must get this right. Okay? Pretty straightforward. Okay, to promote this new and improved salt, Morton asked their advertising team to come up with a memorable slogan. These two are strange words. Advertising, commonly misspelled word. Advertisement, even more commonly misspelled. How do you spell advertisement, ladies and gentlemen? Spell it for me in the chat. How do you spell advertisement?
The whole problem is they like to call it ads, so they cannot go
Ah,
beyond ADS.
yes. So it's pronounced as advertisement, but it looks like advertisement.
Oh
Okay?
no, some of them can't spell advertisement.
Okay.
Advertise, advertisement. Remember the E there. They're still typing it without E.
Okay, so just take note. Commonly misspelled word. Advertising, it's not as hard as advertisement. And now some students are going to ask, teacher, do I put an S or a Z, the British spelling, American spelling? Okay, so we're going to just say this, okay? Singapore, having been colonized before, we use the British spelling. So papers are set using British spelling. If the paper is set using British spelling, then when you are doing the paper, you also use the British form of the word, okay? The British spelling of the word. That's all. Okay? That's all. Because it will then be consistent with the rest of the paper. Okay, so it's S-I-N-G. Memorable. Memorable, commonly mispronounced, but maybe not so commonly misspelled. Okay, memorable. O-R-A-B-L-E. Everyone's gotten it right. This one, really nonsense looking word. This was a fresh, positive reinterpretation of the old English saying. So let's say I'm not so sure. Then you read the whole sentence, right? They have changed a quote. When it rains, it pours to it never, or rather, it used to be it never rains, but it pours. They changed it to when it rains, it pours. So they have reinterpreted this old saying. So yeah, the spelling it's a longer word, reinterpretation, okay? Re in did I make a spelling error here? Reinterpretation, okay? Reinterpretation. Nothing to do with Taylor Swift, but never mind, okay? So editing like that. This is just a bite-sized practice. We don't have the whole a bite-sized
Yeah,
practice
for
just
very
to
long words,
mm,
actually, it'll be good. Sometimes you guys might want to put in the column, you spell the base word first, like interpret. You do it
interpret.
slowly. Yeah. Interpret, reinterpret, then reinterpretation. That's what you can also do so that you avoid making mistakes too quickly. Some of them write too fast and then they mangle the middle portion of it.
Student asked a good question. If it's a spelling error, would it be in the same tense and word form? So how do you know? You just sound out the word. So if it ends with an S, like plural noun, then then it's probably a plural word. The next thing you need to do is you check. Once you've spelled it out, does it match the sentence and what the sentence is trying to express? Okay? So interpretation cannot become interpretations because it's spelled without a S sound, singular. Okay? Match the sound. Okay, match the sound. All right. How is everyone doing? We have two more sections, and like I mentioned, Compre OE, it's really bite-sized to just highlight some things for you. Compre close skills. This is a mini practice. The whole full Compre close is much longer than this, but we want to just highlight some things when it comes to Compre close. So, like I mentioned earlier, the teachers would have mentioned that when there's a passage, you need to read the passage first. You need to understand what the passage is about, and then if there are paragraphs, each paragraph is focusing on and then every sentence, what is it trying to convey? Which means you must really comprehend what you're reading. That's number one. And then when you are doing the questions, you need to look for contextual clues. Contextual clues for Compre clues, very often it would be related to collocations, idioms, okay, grammar, and sometimes related to the use of sentence structure. So especially linking words like a blank comma. So what is that linking word used there? I have to read the whole sentence to understand. Okay? So I will give you all some time. Try the first 5 questions, 6 questions. First 6 questions, okay? You can share your answers with us. I'll read it out and you can try. Where are the clues? And what's the answer? On a small farm in the United States, an extraordinary friendship captured the attention of animal lovers worldwide. Susan, a bantam hen, she's a hen, cluck cluck, became the unlikely mother of an abandoned peacock chick. So it's a baby peacock named Pee-wee. Okay, so a hen adopted a peacock. Despite their obvious blank in size and species, Susan instinctively blanked for Pee-wee, keeping him warm and safe under her feathers. Okay, we're going to pause here first. First paragraph. How do you know what to fill in this blank with? Where do you look for blank 31 and 32? Okay, you see, I'm seeing some. Okay, I give you a clue. Some of you are getting wrong. There is
Yeah, we
side
still need Captain
hair
Ace here. You don't need to eliminate
species.
anything, but you need to sniff out for clues. Are all of you drawing your brackets? Are you looking for phrasal verbs, perhaps, or words that go with the ones near the blanks? So you cannot be just staring and randomly putting things in. There's a reason why there are only the correct answers to be filled in, not any random English words.
Are you all looking at my clue? for question 31. Size is one thing, species is another thing. There are two things. Just now we were talking about two things, right? Nothing to do with whether they're countable or uncountable. So is it difference or differences? Hmm.
They also
Okay.
need to see that on a small farm, there are two animals that are mentioned, a hen and a peacock chick. They have to highlight that. If not, they're just thinking, oh, I'm just staring at the second sentence and I cannot find the clues.
Okay, so is it difference or differences? It's differences. So you can say differences. Differences is the actual easiest answer to arrive at. There are other words, but it's okay. I don't see any other variations over here, so differences is fine. What about this one? Some of you put defend. I saw for this one, number 32. Some of you put defend, cares, expected. Huh? Expected. Susan instinctively blanked for Pee-wee. After this is a comma, it's not a full stop. There is the clue. It comes after the comma. Keeping him warm and safe under her feathers. So she would literally put her wings, or she would just make sure that he's really close to her so that he is what? Is it to
Yeah, they're not
defend her?
drawing, they're also not drawing a bracket around 32 and the word for. So they are just, some of them are just typing words. Can it be this? Can it be that? The word must agree with for. What
Okay. So
for?
So now there are students who wrote cares and students who wrote cat. So students, I want to ask you, what is the right tense to use? Look at the tense used in this text. This was reported some time back. Now there's no more chick. Okay, it's all grown up.
Captured
Is
the
it cares or cat?
attention of, captured the attention of. Are you able to highlight some of the words like captured? It's happened already.
Okay.
An
Oh, just
extraordinary friendship captured the attention. So this is past.
da, da, da. Here is also past.
The answer cannot be provided for. What's the meaning of provided for? That means you feed a person, you,
mm,
you feed something, and it
mm,
cannot be protected for. It
mm,
would be Susan instinctively protected Pee-wee. Here you have a for, so your answer cannot be correct, okay? Jordan,
mm.
some of you who typed other answers.
Yeah, thank you, teachers, for help because their answers are coming fast and furious. Those answers. Okay, cat for past tense. Next one, next paragraph. As Pee-wee matured, blank a striking, colorful peacock, his loyalty to Susan remained unwavering. So what's unwavering loyalty? These two words always go together. That means very loyal. Okay, nothing can make him betray Susan. So this, as Pee-wee matured, blank a striking.
What
We are
was
looking.
Pee-wee initially? It was a chick.
Yeah,
Life
pig chick.
cycle, right?
Yeah,
From egg to chick. Then the third stage, three-stage life cycle.
matured into, a lot of them wrote into, okay, correct. To
Very
mature
good.
into something else, blossom, okay, mature into an adult peacock, okay. His loyalty remained unwavering. He often followed her. Okay, this one it's I will read the whole sentence. There are two blanks here. He often followed her around the blank, rarely straying far from her blank. Which one is easier? Okay, a lot of farm. How do you know? Where's the clue? On a small farm. So they are both in the farm, okay? So the clue is here. Followed her around the farm. No other word, actually.
Some of
Okay,
them
no other
might
word.
put around the world. You see, if you don't read, I normally put
Oh,
around the
right.
world.
Don't scare
Okay.
me.
Yes,
Okay.
luckily nobody did that.
You know what?
Not yet.
That one's an interesting story already. It's around the world. Okay, around the farm. How about this next blank? Rarely straying far from her blank. This is a common collocation. Common collocation. To stray far from someone's.
When you go out with your parents, what do they tell you? Stick close to my side. Very good. Not
Which side?
sight. Side. SIDE, not sight. Because we're
Stay
talking
close to
about
me, right?
distance. Yeah, stay close to me, not from my vision. I think some of them
They
put
mix it up.
SIGHT.
Yeah, that one is out of sight. Out of sight. Then it's SIGHT, okay? Habitat for 36. Okay, wait. Let me read first. Visitors were consistently fascinated by the unusual pair, observing the deep blank that had formed between the two birds. Habitat that formed between the two, deep habitat, that doesn't make sense at all. Between the two birds, something had formed. So the word here must match with form. That means it's something that can form, okay? That can be built, created, developed, okay? Formed between the two birds. Deep what? I cannot say deep habitat, doesn't make sense. Deep bridge. Do you see a deep bridge? I have a deep bridge with Mrs. Shum, is it? That's really weird, right? We don't say deep bridge.
Yes, really
Okay,
weird.
so deep what? When you're very close to somebody, you say we share a
Actually, the
deep.
clue again goes back right to the top, right to the top. An unlikely and extraordinary friendship. So when you do situational writing, remember, sometimes they ask you, how could your cousin and you or your classmates and you benefit from a group activity? Then what do you write? Through this activity, we get to forge stronger or deeper bonds or relationship. Yes, connection, bond, relationship, not bridge. You bridge a gap, not the same thing. If for the word bridge, you need to have certain verbs that go with it.
Okay, so deep connection. Actually, deep connection, deep bond, they are commonly used together. The story gained international attention and blank. Don't just quickly say, oh, international attention and fame. Continue reading. Continue reading. A children's book titled "I Will Always Be Your Mummy." Okay, so this book really exists, huh? Gained international attention and what? A children's book. So if you create a children's book based on a real life experience, what word do we often use? Very good. Most of them got it. Inspired. This movie was inspired by real life incidents. Okay, so we always see this phrase. Became a children's book. The story
The
became a children's book.
story,
Cannot.
the answer cannot be published. Why? You put the story, Mavis, can you draw a line under gained international attention?
Mm,
The story achieved this. It achieved two things. First, it gained international attention. We can draw brackets. Gain international attention is one outcome. And two, it inspired a children's book. You cannot put publish. The story cannot publish itself.
mm.
Someone must publish it. So if you read, does it make sense to say the story published a children's book? Cannot be. Okay, I published a book. We
Yeah.
published books. The story cannot publish itself unless it says it was published in a
Mm.
certain year.
And a story cannot become a book. A story is a story and a book is a book. They're in different forms. They cannot become. Okay? For many, the tale of Susan and Pee-wee blank as a heartwarming reminder. Collocation. Blank as a heartwarming reminder that family was not solely defined by appearance or similarity, but care, devotion, and enduring affection. So we say this is a common collocation. So served, served. We just keep the tenses consistent here, okay? Served as a reminder, served as a not reflect as a reminder. It must go with this phrase, a reminder. Okay, it served as a reminder. So her words, that experience served as a reminder for me to do this, and this, or not do this and that. Okay? All right. We are good with time. We still have some time for Q&A. I have some things, exciting things to share with you. So let's take a look at Compre open-ended skills, okay? Some students, let me check. Telegram just now there was a question for Compre OE. Okay, a very general question. How do we improve and score well in COE? Very general question. I think Neighbor is also very interested. He's now doing research on this. Okay, how to score well in comprehension OE. Wow, at this stage, I think we can ask more specific questions. What kind of questions do you often make mistakes in? And what is stopping you from getting the mark? Have you studied your answers? Okay. What do your teachers say about your answers? Over here, oh, true false questions.
I think I realized that
Compre
COE is
OE,
a
Compre
problem
OE.
across the board.
Huh? Yes.
COE is a problem across the board lah. For students, it
Yeah.
is complete OE. For parents, it is car.
Yes. It
Okay,
is true.
yes.
It is true. Okay, for comprehension, again, it's not like I read a question, I just write down an answer based on what I thought I read. So some students do that. They trust their short-term memory so much that they will just write down what they want on the lines. So, and this actually happens quite often. They read the text, they look at the answers or the questions, and they never flip back to the text. They just answer. So for beginning students who are beginning to do Compre OE, that could be a bad habit you want to get rid of. Okay, there are steps involved. So when you, of course, you read the passage, then you read the questions, and we highlight keywords. What are keywords? So I'm not sure if my colleagues here, when you ask your students to highlight keywords, the whole sentence is being highlighted. They are not, they just highlight everything. So what are keywords? Keywords could be question words, your W words, your H5W1H, they are question words. Okay? Or phrases like, what do you think? What do you think? It's an inferential question straight away, right? Explain. Oh, they want an extension to your answer. Identify, maybe to quote or to find a piece of evidence. So these are question words. Content words are anything related to which character are you asking about? What object are you asking about, right? Content words. And then signal words. Signal words like only, very often, especially, except. So don't miss out these words because these words are supposed to guide you to your right answer. Okay. So words like only or definitely, mainly, all these are signal words. After that, of course, you don't hold things in your short-term memory. You go flip, go back to the text, look for the keywords that you have identified, look for the answers there. And once you have decided that, this is the part that I could infer from or do a partial lift from, I can now transfer my answer. But wait. Can I just lift? Actually, it hardly happens anymore. During our time, Mr. Dr. Coleman, Mr. Shah, Mr. Quek, oh, we can lift like mad. We lift a lot in primary school. But now it's a lot of inferential questions. Even the literal questions, you can't do a direct lift. You have to answer the question. Okay? And of course, when you put your answers on the line, you must check. Does it match the tense in the question? Did I transfer did I use the correct pronoun? Like the character is a he, I now put a her or she. It's wrong. Okay, so check for all these things. You don't change the meaning um, of whatever you have read. Okay, of course, grammar as well. Okay, so now we are going to look at some bite-sized practices. Okay. The text we are going to look at today is a series of unfortunate events from the. It's a series. Okay, it's a series of many books. So we're looking at this particular book called The End. So have you all taken a look? We're not giving you full questions. We're asking you to tick, and pick. Okay? Especially our P4s here, P4s moving on to P5. You're still trying to polish your skills. The wind and tides had quickly pushed the boat away from the burning hotel, and by sunset, the hotel and all the other buildings in the city were a distant, faraway blur. So there's a boat, and the winds and tides are pushing the boat further away from the land where the hotel is, but the hotel is now burning. Okay? And the boat is getting further and further away from land. The following morning, the only things the Baudelaires had seen were the quiet, still surface of the sea, like that. Okay, in this poster. So they were just surrounded by water and the sky, and it was grey. The weather reminded them of the day at Briny Beach where they had learned of the loss of their parents and their home in a terrible fire. So when they saw the gloomy sky and the gloomy waters, they thought back of the time when somebody had shared with them that their parents had passed away and that they had lost their home to a fire. Okay? So now, this is an extract. First question, very straightforward. It's a literal question. So again, maybe one is the correct, one of them is the correct answer, maybe two of them, I'm not sure, you tell us. What are the keywords in the question first? All of you giving me answers. What are the keywords in questions? Question what? What? Okay? And then cause. Cause means I'm looking for the reason. Okay? The boat to move further away. So we're looking at the boat moving further away from the hotel. So based on the text, don't hold anything in your short-term memory. Okay, we know we are looking at, boat further away. It has to be in this sentence because here is where I see the boat is being pushed away from the hotel. Now, which answer is definitely wrong? Don't tell us the right answers first. We want to do Captain A's, okay? Although in the real compre, you don't get to do this, but which ones are definitely wrong? Student A is definitely wrong. Can you tell me why? Why is the first one definitely wrong? The wind and tides. The wind and tides, what, teacher? The wind and tides cause the boat to move further away. What's wrong with that? Not complete sentence. Very good. Incomplete sentence. So students say, but teacher, I understood it and I looked at the right place. Why is it wrong? So we go back to this thing that, okay, language is used for communicating. This is an English paper, a language paper, and you, besides communicating your ideas, you're also trying to communicate to the examiner how awesome you are in this subject. You have subject mastery. You're able to write in complete sentences. Okay? So write in complete sentences. It's an English paper. Right? Same as oral exam, you speak grammatically. You don't just use Singlish or single words or fragments. What about, now, we have 3 longer answers. Which one is also not so accurate? Doesn't really answer the question directly. C, yeah. Oh, only C is correct. Then, but they're all complete sentences. C is not correct. C is not correct. Why? Why is C not correct? The wind and tides had quickly pushed the boat away from the burning hotel. See, teacher, I copy from here. What's the problem? Direct lifting. Does it answer the question? Am I asking you what the winds and tides were doing? Were they quickly pushing the boat or slowly making the boat move or what? So this doesn't answer the question. I'm asking you about the cause. So tell me what caused it to move. Okay. So now we're left with 2 options. Which one is acceptable? Which one is acceptable? 照不照? Maybe B. Wow, why so tentative? Okay. Let's look at this sentence structure for B. The boat moved further away from the hotel because of the wind and tides. Now, cause means I'm looking for the reason, right? The because, right? Is this grammatical? Does it match the sentence then? The boat moved further away from the hotel. Grammatical. Because of what? Of the wind and tides. So this is okay. Complete grammatical answers the question. What about the next one? The wind and tides caused the boat to move further away. It's just synthesis and transformation, right? We just flip it. There's caused here in the question. What caused the wind and tides? Caused what? The boat to move further away from the hotel. So B and D are both acceptable. Okay? But you see, when you answer a question correctly, you can directly match what you're writing to your answer. You can directly match what you're writing to your answer. It's a bit like mathematics to some extent, okay? You can match it and then you say, oh, for sure, my answer is right. Okay? Okay. The boat can move in the water, can move on the surface of the water. Now, this one. Word in the extract has the same meaning as sadness. Oh, don't give me the answer yet. Don't give me the answer yet. Tell me the clue, the keywords. What? Okay, word. What is word? One word. Mr. Sham will tell you all the students when they don't read this, they give us a phrase. Okay, one word only, not a phrase, has the same meaning. You must highlight this, okay? Because some questions, the keyword is not same meaning. For some questions, it's suggest or tells you or conveys the idea of. So same meaning means synonym. Synonym. Which also means that it's in the same word form. So if the word given to you is sadness, which is a noun, then the word is also a noun. Okay? So which one can we definitely cross out? A is wrong. A is not even one word, okay? No quotation marks somehow, okay? Grey gloom. Now we are left with two single words, loss or gloom. Remember, same meaning, synonym to sadness. Is it loss or is it gloom? Teacher lost because they lost their parents, also they're very sad. I'm asking for same meaning. Loss means you don't have something anymore. You don't have something anymore. So it is not loss, you know. Loss is related to it is associated with the sadness. Okay, it's associated with the sadness experienced by the kids, but it is not the same meaning as sadness. Gloom, you know, in gloom and doom. Gloom, sad, sadness, okay? What a gloomy day, what a sad day. Okay, so the answer is C, huh? C. Okay, so now you'll know. This same meaning or other keywords are important. Good. Next one. Okay, I've given you two wrong answers. Now there's a chance to try. The answer is not, it's not a long answer. Let's take a look at the question. What happened to the Baudelaire's parents and home? Again, keywords. What happened? Oh, so I'm looking at something related to verbs, correct? Because there's these people and the home, something happened to them. Okay, so there are some verbs, actions involved. Student A and B, what's wrong with these answers? They learned of the loss of their parents and their home in a terrible fire. Does this answer the question? Does this answer the question? Is the question asking you, what did they learn about their parents and the home? Is that the question? They had learned of. This is a direct lift. It doesn't even answer the question. So it's out. Oh, what happened? No. I'm not asking what they learned. Parents died and home burned down. Okay. Teacher, I got the keywords. Died and burned down. Can you give me the mark? I cannot, because this is not grammatical, right? It's not even a complete sentence. So it's out. Now, what is the right answer then? Give all of you 30 seconds. It's the correct answer. The answer is in the text, right? What happened to the parents and home? It is here. What happened to the parents and home? Loss of their parents, their home in a terrible fire, okay? So this loss, what is this loss? Like their parents, yeah, what does it mean? Okay, and their home in a terrible fire. Okay. So now you see there are two keywords here. I want to know what happened to the parents and what happened to the home. So these two things must be my answer. Something happened to the parents and something happened to the home. So some of you already, you have the right answer right from the start. Their parents, what? And their home, what? That's the sentence structure. So their parents died and their home, what happened to their home? Their home burned down in a terrible fire. Yes. Their home was destroyed in a terrible fire. Their home was burnt down. Okay. Okay. So this is a complete sentence. Parents, did I address it? Parents died. Home burnt down. Right? So this is a simple, complete sentence. Answer the question. Oh, Giselle, your answer is not grammatical. Died and their home was burnt down in terrible fire. Yes. Okay, so you just have two parts and make sure that you don't make any spelling errors, grammatical errors. All right. The next extract, we are looking at three question types. But the first one is quite straightforward. Okay, so this is the villain in the story. Their companion's name was Count Olaf. Okay, it had been the Baudelaire orphans' misfortune to be in this dreadful man's company since they had lost their parents and he had become their guardian. So he's now in charge of them. Okay, Olaf had hatched scheme after scheme in an attempt to get his filthy hands on the enormous fortune the orphans' parents had left behind. So he wants their fortune, he wants the money, okay, the inheritance. left by their parents. Although each scheme had failed, it appeared as if some of the villain's wickedness had rubbed off on the children. What does this mean? If somebody's vibe or somebody's personality has rubbed off on you, that means you are becoming like that person. Okay? Now, Olaf and the Baudelaires were all in the same boat. All in the same boat has two meanings here. They are literally in a boat, and they're also in the same situation and responsible for a number of treacherous crimes. So the kids have also committed crimes with him. At least the Baudelaire orphans had the decency to feel terrible about this. Whereas Count Olaf all he had been doing in the past few days was bragging about it. "Oh, I'm so awesome, I committed crimes." Okay, that's what he did. So this is this extract. Now, question one. See, it looks like a simple question, but it is not. It has this word, explain. How? So the moment we have explained how, it becomes very obviously an inferential question, right? Because they want you to use information from the text, unpack it
Hello, hello.
to... Hey, hi, Mr. Quack.
Sorry, testing. Yeah.
Okay, hello. Okay, wickedness had rubbed off on... Put something in quotes. So let me ask you, students, every time they put something in quotes and they ask you to explain something about it, do you copy and paste the whole quote into your answer and then use it to answer the question? Because if you do that, you're using the question to answer the question. Correct? So to some extent, we have to use our own words. Though it is not spelled out in the question, you'll see more of this at secondary level, but though it's not spelled out, you realize that I cannot use these words in my answer because I must explain to some extent to show that I understand what this whole phrase is about. Okay, so maybe I can use wickedness, but I have to do something about this rubbed off on. What does this mean? Is it literal? No, it's not literal. This one I need to unpack. Okay, so let's take a look at these three answers. Which one is correct? All of you. Or which one is definitely wrong? Count Olaf's wickedness had influenced the Baudelaires, causing them to become involved in treacherous crimes. We're all in the same boat and responsible for a number of treacherous crimes. This is lifted. Okay? Count Olaf's wickedness brought on the children because he was scheming to get the enormous fortune the orphans' parents had left behind. Why is there this strange word? Because he was scheming. His wickedness had rubbed off on them because he was scheming. It was not what the sentence was about. The sentence is saying that because they hang out with him so much, they also became wicked. Okay, so student A. These two are wrong. So let's take a look at student A's answer. Count Olaf's wickedness. Okay, wickedness is fine. But what is rubbed off? Oh, rubbed off all means influenced. Influence who? The children. Don't just say the children. What children? The Baudelaires. Be very specific in your answer. Okay, but now I am just putting this in my own words. I haven't explained, What does it mean when someone's wickedness has influenced you? It has turned you into something else. It has made you do something. So causing them to become involved in treacherous crimes. So this is a typical explain how answer, where you use information from the text, unpack it, and ask yourself, so what? So what does it show? So it shows this. Now they also do bad things. Okay? So the explain how question is the more challenging one for students. But there is a strategy like what we did, right? Step by step. Okay? All right. Just now somebody said, true false question, teacher, I don't know how to do true false question. So let's take a look at true false. Olaf was a greedy man. True or false? You just read that extract, right? Yeah, Tobias. Always very, very, very anxious. True false? Count Olaf was a greedy man. True false? False. False. He's not a greedy man. He's a generous man. True. Okay, so please put True, not T. Spell out the word. True. What is true? So step one is you decide true or false based on your understanding of the text. Then you go and highlight, oh, this is true. Then what do you write in the reason? If something is true, you provide proof. Okay, you provide details to show that it's true. So you cannot say it's true because he was greedy. Full stop. You cannot repeat. How do we know he's a greedy man? How do we know he's a greedy man? Money, related to money, right? In the text. He had all these schemes, okay, and he wanted to get his money. He wanted to get the orphan's money. So we take a look at this part. And if you think, actually, if I copy this and I lift it, it still answers the question, then you can do it. Okay? But if it doesn't, then we have to change. For this question, low-hanging fruit, this one you're able to a large extent, lift. And it still is reasonable, answers the question, right? Scheme after scheme to get his hands on fortune, which shows his greed. So it's fine. This is fine. What about B? B is a bit more complex. The Baudelaires were proud of the crimes they had committed and bragged proudly about them. True or false? True or false? They were proud of it. Yes, I committed crimes. False. Okay. So if you had understood the text, it's false. What is false? Proud of the crimes. Brag proudly. These two things are false. So there are two things, right? 1 and 2. So can you tell me, in your reason, can you just give me one proof or one detail? No, right? You need to address both false points. So to prove that something is false, then you tell me what is the truth. So what's the truth? Tell your teacher. The truth is they felt terrible, correct? They felt terrible. This is in the text. They felt terrible about this, okay? And they didn't brag like Count Olaf. Count Olaf was the only one bragging. They didn't, because you see the word whereas, they compared the siblings to Count Olaf. So that's our 2 points. Firstly, the Baudelaires felt terrible for being involved in the crimes, so they didn't feel proud. And secondly, they did not brag proudly about them. Count Olaf did. So this addresses 2 things: pride, being proud, and bragging. Okay? So that's all. Can I say they did not brag? If you just say they did not brag, you're just flipping the question. So we extend it. Oh, the person who bragged was Count Olaf, not them. Then it makes your answer or your reason clearer. Okay?
For this answer to be very clear, they can use structures like although or instead.
If they start a new sentence, right? For the second point.
Yeah, some of them might have written it that way, like
Yes.
instead of bragging about their crimes, the Baudelaires felt terrible for being involved in them, unlike Count Olaf.
Yeah. Can. So there are synthesis and transformation. Different sentence structures are fine. Okay. The last one is this one. A lot of P6 say, oh, evaluative question when it comes out. Evaluative question just means that you can take a stand if the text allows it. Sometimes they have like contrasting viewpoints. So for this question, do you think the Baudelaires were good people? Explain and support your answer. So do you think they were good? Explain and support your answers with evidence. So you don't take things from the air, you go back to the text to support your answer. So a few questions about let me get okay, thank you, Mr. Quack. We're all working together. So who thinks that the Baudelaires were really good people? Raise your hand. There's no right. You can either say yes or no. Because you're actually not given mark for the yes or no. You're given mark for the explanation and the evidence. So whether you say yes or no, it's fine. You just put yes or no, you don't get a single mark. You must explain and provide evidence. So secondary school students, they are doing this a lot because this comes out a lot in their questions, okay? Let me show you the structures and then we can take a look at some of your answers because I want to teach you these structures, okay?
Yeah,
How
meanwhile, also, when people do bad things and they feel bad about it, what is that related word? Feeling terrible and guilty for something bad you do. That's one direct evidence, right? they had a moral compass.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
some of them got it.
So if they
The
want evidence,
the ability to feel remorse, the fact that they had a conscience and felt bad.
yes. So if you say yes, they were good people, what is the evidence? So you realize I labeled it, right? If they want evidence, we must give them the evidence. Okay, the evidence is that though they were involved, they felt terrible and guilty. So what do you mean by they felt terrible and guilty? How does this show that they are good people? You explain. Use a linking word like showing that they have a strong sense of right or wrong. They have a strong moral compass. But if you say no, they're not good, because if you're really good, bad influence should not be able to affect you, right? Okay, you shouldn't be influenced in that way. You really good person, people don't, that doesn't happen to them. So again, evidence. They want evidence because the wickedness rubbed off on them. So what? This shows. You realize that the use of the word this shows, okay, it happens is a linking phrase that you can use. This shows that why are they bad? They were capable of being influenced to do wrong. So you do not get marks for yes or no. You get marks for the evidence and the explanation. Okay, you get marks for the explanation and evidence. Okay, this is the last question. So let me pause here for a while. There's some answers coming in. And just now I told you we want to share something exciting with you upcoming, especially for our P6s. Especially for our P6s. So, but not too long. Not too long. NYOC, we already have our semi-finalists already, okay? They are moving on, they're preparing for their semi-finals.
Yeah,
Okay, not
but,
NYOC.
yeah, but for the P6 students, if you miss the NYOC because of your exam, don't worry. We will see whether we can come up for something for you, just for the P6 students, sometime in November, because you're very free, right? So do watch out for that. We have a lot of things to do, so we will think about that. And as long as I'm around and can talk a bit, maybe we can do something.
Okay, this is what I wanted to share. So if you are a P6 student with us, you would have received this in class, right? But this is the colored version, okay? You would have
Yes.
received this in class. Our MSAA, so somebody said MSAA, yeah. So every year, like this year, this picture is from this year. Mr. Neywoon over here was one of the MCs, okay? So MSAA, our biggest award ceremony every year, where we award our students for great academic performance and also other wonderful values like tenacity, determination, great attitude towards learning. Okay, so all of you are going to be doing your PSLE and you will then receive your results. Now, once you've received your results, submit them. Okay, submit them. In fact, Sweaty told me, our colleague Sweaty told me that she has emailed all eligible students. That means if you're a P6 student with us, you've been with us for some time, you're
Yeah.
eligible. Okay, so the link is there. More information will be given to you. So just
Yeah.
Stay
Okay,
tuned.
maybe can you
Yeah.
attach this document and send it to everyone in this group?
Can
Good.
I
Yeah,
can
so everybody
put the
should
link here.
receive this document right now here. So we don't need to wait for email. We will attach it. So maybe you attach it. So I want to talk about a couple of things.
Wait.
Okay, I want to talk about a couple of
This
things.
wouldn't work. This wouldn't work. Let me download it.
Yeah, you download it and attach it. So everybody should receive this document physically right now here. I want to talk about this because it is a question which we have always faced. The question about lifting. So I want to talk about it's a simple questions, and I think it's important that all of us have this idea, right? Okay, so let me ask some students, why do you ask the question about lifting? Everybody look at the question which I just put down. A simple question, but let me ask you, why do you ask the question about lifting? Is it because the teacher said that you shouldn't lift? So yes or no? So I just need to know. Is it because the teacher said that you shouldn't lift? So let's talk about a simple question like that. And this is where you all need to understand. Okay, simple question like, and this is a real school question, okay? A real school question, but obviously this is at the lower level. Primary 6, you won't find this question. So this is why the teacher said that you won't have this scenario. But besides this, let's talk about fundamental principles. Take a look at this question. I just gave you 2 sentences. Ali didn't attend school today. He is sick. So right now my question is this. What should the answer be? Is it he is sick or he was sick? Or is it difficult to consider? Why didn't he go to school today? Is or was? I want you to think about it, but let me tell you, okay, yes, or maybe at this point in time, let's make it simpler for you, okay? Let's not confuse you at this point in time because let's make it simpler. He was sick so that there is no ambiguity, okay? I just change it, no ambiguity, make it easier for you. At PSLE time, we want to chill, no complexity. So the question is this. Now my question is this, if the exam question is like that, why didn't Ali go to school today? What is your answer? What is the answer? He was sick. Do you agree? Okay, but this is the problem. Some teachers say that it is wrong. Take a look, cross it wrong and say lifting. I'm telling you real examples, so listen carefully, So now this is the problem. He said lifting. This was a primary 2 passage. Everybody listens. A primary 2 student. The teacher cancelled lifting. So the teacher said, you cannot use the words, you cannot use the word sick. So you should be using he was ill. You put sick, 0. He was ill. Now listen carefully. What is the purpose of this passage? Comprehension. Whether you comprehend. Everybody clear? It is not a vocabulary exercise. True, you may need vocabulary, but at the end of the day, whether you comprehend, why didn't he go to school? He was sick. Do I need to change the word ill? No. Maybe when you go to secondary school, when you do summary writing, you need to change the words? Yes. So everybody clear? So if the answer is just like that, just take it out. That's it, long and short of it. If they really want you to rephrase, it will be like that. In your own words, explain why Ali didn't go to school. And this is the standard rule, whether it's primary, secondary, or JC. Am I clear about that?
Yes, definitely.
Everybody
You
must be
will
clear,
see the words using
Yes,
a word of your
rephrase
own.
This is very important because you see, when teachers say the wrong thing, everybody thinks that they need to change. Don't if the answer is there, just use the word. And I tell you, taken to extreme, this is what happens. I'm telling you real situations, Taken to extreme, the word river now becomes a stream. The word sea now becomes an ocean. And this is what the teachers tell them to do. And this is a tragedy because the sea is definitely not equivalent to an ocean. Everybody clear? So you lift it. If the answer is that, you lift. But the reality is, for your PSLE, you're not going to find such a question. Your answer is somewhere there. So whether you like it or not, you're not going to find an answer like that. Clear? But in case by accident, wonderful accident, which is the one, because it's too simple a question, you can lift it in this case. If they want, everybody clear? Everybody clear about this? That's number 1. Number 2, what do I want to say? I want to say something else. Okay, evaluative questions. Evaluative questions are very rare. Here at my structure, we try to stretch, so we have evaluative questions. But if you were to look at the last 5 years of PSLE, there was only 1 year where they had 2 evaluative questions. But that year, the comprehension passage was tough. Other than that, it is mainly inferential and literal. This is the fact. When we say literal, it doesn't mean that you can live, but the answer is pretty straightforward there. Clear? Clear? That's number 2. And the third thing I want to say is that some students say that, I've always been doing very badly for my comprehension, 10 out of 20, 10 out of 20. Remember, this is in the past. So don't worry. Don't think that just because you have always been getting 10 out of 20, you will get 10 out of 20 this time. Wrong. Why? Because this is a national exam. In a national exam, the cohort is a lot bigger. When the cohort is a lot bigger, there's such a thing called a bell curve. Your AL score, your PSLE score is not by bell curve, but in terms of the distribution of students, it will always be by bell curve. Okay, clear? So don't worry too much at it. What happens is just do your best. And a piece of advice for all students, right? If you did well for your prelim, great, continue doing that. If you didn't do well for your prelim, don't worry. What is important is your upcoming PSLE. And I will tell you these real examples. We have students from real examples over the years. Prelim 12, PSLE 6, Prelim 11, PSLE 4, Prelim 18, PSLE 10. Always happens. Do you understand? So as long as you don't give up yourself, everything is cool. It is a new journey. It is a new paper. Is everybody clear about this? So there's a reason why we give these PSLE awards. It's not just for great results. You realize that the range of awardees is wide. We don't just give the 4, the 5, the 6, 7. We also give out the 12. And at the same time, we also give students, you can nominate yourself. For instance, you may not have gotten And you must all remember PSLE is not the be all and end all. It's just a small step in one's learning journey. Okay? So chill. Do you understand? It doesn't mean that the PSLE is going to determine the future. No, no, no. Don't worry there. If you think that way, then you might as well apply to university using your PSLE results, which they don't even bother. Clear? So it is one segment. It's a first national exam, yes, but we try our best. And if we get the results we want, totally cool. If we don't get what we expect, no problem. We start afresh in secondary school, okay? Then one of you asked whether Naewon is a teacher. Now, Naewon has been my treasure student for the longest time. And the reason why he's here because he attends many of seminars and he's rather knowledgeable. So Naewon is a Sec 4 student at RI, but Naewon is not an ordinary Sec 4 RI student. He is a good RI academic student. Obviously, he's one of the best speakers in Singapore when it comes to debating and speaking. So that is why he's here to share and guide you all as well. Cool?
I think
Yeah,
to
so
add
this week,
also,
yeah.
we need to credit him for helping us with the listening compre app.
Yes.
All of them know that. Yes.
Yeah. So he was working with Moses. So Moses advised him how to do it, and he did it. And he can only do it because he's a good student. So at the end of the day, it is always a learning journey. Okay, fine. And whatever skills we should teach you is not just relevant for your PSLE, it's going to be relevant for your secondary school as well. You'll be surprised. Today, I was teaching a secondary 2 student, okay, at a very, 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 very competitive IP school. She was telling me all about English tragedies. She said that in my school, I learned nothing because we are supposed to learn essay writing comprehension. But guess what? This year, I only wrote 1 essay and suddenly I'm tested. Okay, and my comprehension skills are not good. Okay, this is the reality. So you're going to find this throughout the school, throughout the schools. What school is this? I give you a clue. It is a girl and the school starts with the letter R. Three words. Okay, so you can guess what the school is. But this is reality. You see it. So whatever skills we have here, learning is a journey. Whether you're primary school, secondary school, and at the base of it all is your grammar skills, your writing skills, and your vocab. So everything is a journey. Right? Just because your secondary school doesn't teach this doesn't mean it's important. Because at the end of the day, the core skills will remain comprehension, essay when you go to secondary school, and summary writing. These are the core. Okay, clear? So this everybody must have the perspective here. So your PSLE, just do your best, chill, don't be too stigmatized, and we wish you all the best. Very, very important. And please nominate yourself for the My Stretcher Achievement Awards. If you feel that you deserve it, if you feel that we ought to nominate you, for instance, you win or you are semi-finalist for the NYOC or you're a finalist. So you think that as a brilliant speaker, you need to be nominated by all means. So remember, if you don't nominate yourself, nobody will know you unless the teachers know you. So there is always, please nominate yourself. Do you understand? Don't depend on others to nominate you.
Myself, I
Very,
did,
very
I did
important.
venture, I step in a bit because there were some questions inside of
Yes.
the Q&A on where to nominate themselves. I think whether the teachers can post it in the chat or whatever.
Okay. Let us this was a question, okay? The teacher said that I cannot write in 2 sentences. My teacher told me for PSLE, C should just write in a single sentence for which there are the 2 reasons. Okay.
No, that's not true.
Not true. Not true.
That is not true, exactly. So this is the point. You see, teachers say this because of the fact that they got a certain preference, but certain preference doesn't mean that it is right. So everybody is logical. Did they say that you are only supposed to answer in 1 sentence? It's not stated there. Obviously, if we have a choice, we phrase it into 1 sentence, we do it. Do you agree? But if we don't have a choice and the sentence becomes totally and utterly convoluted, we don't do it. It's simple, basic writing. Everybody clear? Everybody clear? So it's good that you answer these questions because we're telling the reality of things as it stands, right? So this is where the misconception comes about. That's why we hold these seminars. And going forward, as for secondary school, we are going to hold many of these as well. So please make sure you attend them, okay? Because they're free for everybody. Please make sure you attend them. And secondary school is going to be completely different ball game. Cool?
A student asked, is there tuition for IB English? So I just add Naewon because he has shared this at multiple platforms
Okay,
already, right?
I
Yeah.
want to talk about this. Naeun has been a my section student for the longest time. So even for Sec 1, Sec 2, Sec 3, Sec 4, he's one of the top students in RI. He's not your ordinary random floater in RI. He's one of the top students in RI. And he studies here for many different subjects, including English. And one of the years, he was the top English student. And right now, for year end, he's also pretty close to the top. So the other thing I want to tell you is this. What is IB English? Let's talk about it. IP English, I repeat, there's a misconception. IP leads to 3 different routes: A levels, NUS High, Diploma, and IB. So there's no IB English. But if I can just share with you my experience, English is English. Whether if you're good in English, it doesn't matter what form of English. Okay, this is the reality. During our time, all of us had the same exam, like Coleman's time, Mavis time, my time, all same exams. There was no IP. But does it mean I cannot do the questions which you all have in your IP schools? No. I'm actually stronger because my English is better. So that's all there is. So IP English, everything boils down to the same things. You need to be good in understanding a passage, whatever form it comes, whether it's literature, whether it is a poetry, a comprehension. Then this is the function of your vocabulary. So let us be under no illusions. Then after that, what are the techniques used to analyze it? You give me IB English, whatever school, ACS, MGS, CHIS, Civics, whatever. For me, same. I tell you what is different. It's only different when you go to NUSI. When you go to NUSI, you have triple science as a distinct subject: physics, chemistry, biology. The rest is all the same. It's all mixed. It's just how different types of questions. But at the end of it, everything will boil down to the basic principles. So I hope everybody gets this idea clear. So don't worry about too much IB English. If you cannot do well in the PSLE English, when you go to these schools, you will also struggle. And this is the reality. So I need to correct this misconception as well. Just because you get a 4 or 5, it doesn't mean that English is good enough. We will know whether English is when you go to secondary school, because now there will be no more MCQ. Okay, so it will be very clear. And maybe going forward in time, when Naeun is more free, he can share with you how he manages to do so well in RI. And he teaches the students in RI in English as well. And I can almost guarantee you that the English standard at RI is much higher than the IB standard. Sec 1 and Sec 4, I can guarantee you this. Okay, because I know, because I see this all the time. So for me, whether it is this language, then it's same. You need to be good in vocabulary, you need to be good in answering techniques, you need to read widely, you need to be good in your grammar, you need to be good in your understanding. That's it. Then it doesn't matter whatever you say. Okay, so everybody must understand these fundamental principles, because there is a misconception: IB English, ACS English, IP. For me, English is English. Do you agree? English is English. Once I read a good piece of English, you can be from Hwa Chong, you can be with MGS, but bad English is bad English. I just need the first paragraph to know whether you're good in English or not. I don't care about the school. I will go to school, and trust me, if you think that all students in these schools write super English, you'll be in for a road shock. I know, I was from RI many years ago. Okay, yeah, so this is the reality. So we don't need to be too concerned about whether this is English. Just focus on your PSLE first. After your PSLE, then we come back, attend our seminars, then we tell you more. Sharing. This is very important. Okay, the mindset must be important, so you know how to build your English. It's really not too difficult to build your English. But the problem is that people take it for granted. When you take it for granted and they don't develop the skills, they don't develop the techniques, they will be only stuck there. Whatever the school you go to, I repeat, whatever the school you go to, whether you're Bedok Secondary School, Hougang Secondary School, Pasir Ris, ACS, SGI, it really doesn't matter. If you are good, you can beat a lot of students. So we must have that mindset. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Mr.
finish
Quack.
answers. Yes.
Yes, after your PSLE, we will have lots of talks on selecting schools, etc. So you can ask your questions then as well. So
Yes.
a lot of many students are asking how to nominate myself. You will receive an email, or you have received an email, and there should be a link to a form. Okay, so don't worry about that first. Just do your PSLE first, and
Yeah, I
then
give you my phone number
everything
first.
is
I give you my phone number first. If I'm not a monk during this period, you can, because I may become a novice monk during this period. 92363. Sorry, I purposely
You typed it
want the
wrongly
wrong
again.
number deliberately.
Normally, so nice one. It's okay, like happens with age.
Okay, 923 92. Oh, you see, 9236336. Okay, this is my phone number. Okay, So if you have any problems with nominating yourself, just ask me to nominate you. Okay,
Okay.
fine, but all of you have gotten that document already, right? So
Yes,
when
yes.
PSLE receive another link, make sure you nominate yourself. You must nominate yourself because there are many holistic students. We're not just looking at the academic component. So let me give you an example. If you have been doing prelims, you get prelims 22, but your PSLE, you get 14. I think you absolutely deserve it. Okay, so this must be the angle. Cool?
Tobias is just being funny.
This is my
Don't
real
bother.
number. You think I'm a scammer?
Hey guys, just call the scam hotline if you are not
Yeah,
sure.
just call the scam hotline, report me to the scam hotline.
This not the first time already. I'm always like, no, it's not the
Yeah.
correct number.
Yeah. I can give you my
Okay.
phone number, but whether I
Yeah.
reply to it is another story.
Oh, yeah, it's another story.
Yeah, like for instance, I try to remember unless it gets lost. Like I was reading a message earlier this year. Then this message was by a student. He said, "Thank you, Mr. Craig, for all this advice given to you. I got a certain score. I got a PSLE score of 4." I said that. I look at the message. That was 3 years ago. It was Naewon's batch. I said, "Oh my God!" So I replied to him, "What school are you in now, by the way?" I said, "I'm sorry I missed the message, but this was one of the rare cases. I missed it by 3 years." Yeah, but
Okay.
I've tried
At
to.
the end of the day,
I'll
it's
try to.
because
I'll try
he's
to.
very busy, so you have to take some time
Yeah.
to
Yes.
respond to it as
Yes,
well.
yes.
Okay, cool.
He sent me a video at 2:15 a.m. last night. I was like, sir, why are you not sleeping?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I was.
Yes, yes. Oh my God. Thank you for staying with us, okay? Because we have all these things we want to share with you. So for our P6 students, your papers are coming up in the next few days. As Mr. Quack shared earlier on, just go in, try your best, do what you can control, and then you have no regrets, okay? Just have no regrets, and try your best. Okay? We are still here for you. Though this is our last English webinar, some of you might be meeting your English teachers in class again. So if you have anything, just ask us and we'll see you after your PSLE, okay?
Yeah,
Lots of
but
things
anyway,
to
you have
share.
my phone number, right? So if
Yeah,
in
yeah.
case you have any emergency questions, you can ask me. Okay? Just hope that I don't reply 2 years later, but it's fine. I'll reply. You can ask me general questions except Chinese.
Can.
Okay, Chinese, you have to ask my twin. I'll introduce my twin after the PSLE.
Yeah,
Okay.
guys, so please get your rest before your exam. Really, most important is please sleep. Okay, make sure you get at least more than 6-7 hours of sleep every night.
Mm.
Okay, make sure that you also have at least 6-7 pencils and pens in order for you to be, give yourself the confidence that your pen will not run out. All right?
I will
Take
come
care
up
of your
messages
health. Take care
from
of
some
your health.
students. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, teachers, Dr. Coleman, Mr. Sham, Naewon, and Elvin for joining us. And see you guys soon, okay? Bye-bye.